Hello and thank you for your time. My name is Joshua Maxwell and today I will be evaluating Quorn's social media and assessing how they can improve it through consumer engagement. So to begin, we must first understand who Quorn are. Founded in 1985, Quorn has followed the works of Lord Rank, who as early as the 1960s identified that food shortages and growing populations were serious issues that needed focus. So to do this, he implemented a team of scientists to assess over 3,000 soil samples in order to find the ideal microprotein, Fusarium, that Quorn still uses today. Officially entering the UK market in 1993, Europe later in the 1990s, and the USA in 2002, Quorn experienced strong initial growth, becoming leaders in most major markets. However, despite this growth and expansion, Quorn have maintained their initial core principles, a philosophy of sustainability, ethics, and creativity. And this is perfectly encapsulated by the company's vision statement to produce a healthy protein for a healthy planet. So what are they doing now? Well, Quorn now operate in over 18 different countries, and they're actually the UK's largest meat-free alternative brand, hosting 16% of the market. They've amassed a range of products in excess of 100, from mealtime options to snack options, to ease the transition of users from a protein and meat-based diet through to the meat-free protein alternatives. So now we know more about Quorn, we can evaluate them internally and assess the external factors. So strengths. One strength that Quorn has done exceptionally well is to develop its brand image. Meat-free proteins are often perceived by consumers as worse alternatives, with 25% of consumers describing them as processed and unnatural, and 23% of consumers viewing them as a worse source of protein. However, through Quorn's promotional materials and their endorsements of celebrities such as Mo Farah, they've managed to negate the impacts of these influences, and they've instead built credibility and developed the stance that they can compete with meat. So in terms of weaknesses, one issue commonly communicated by consumers is the pricing of meat-free protein alternatives. As of 2019, 30% of consumers labelled pricing as the primary reason preventing them to switch. Considering that almost 1/3 of the market has this same issue, this is definitely a weakness and an area that Quorn can develop themselves in to succeed. Alongside this, Quorn's social media strategy is rather underwhelming. Consider the growth rate of the market exceeding 5% over 2 years, as well as the overlapping demographics regarding healthier eating habits and social media usage. A more aggressive and sturdy strategy is essential in this area. For opportunities, one big opportunity for Quorn is that the market is still growing. In 2016, PwC reported an increase in healthy eating habits across every major age group, most prevalently 18 to 34-year-olds, with a rise of nearly 50%. With promising growth already evident within the market, Quorn has the opportunity to gain this new, younger audience whose ethics align with the brand and are known for being brand loyal. With over half of under 25s labelling that they will stay and remain loyal to brands whose ethics align with their own. So Quorn has a great opportunity to seize this new area of market and these new consumers, which will ensure longevity of their success due to this loyalty. So the threats. The greatest threat currently facing Quorn is the growth and development of own brand alternatives. These own brands are able to position to target more cost-conscious consumers, undercutting Quorn. And in doing so, they remove the greatest barrier labelled by consumers that is preventing them from the switch, with 41% of consumers claiming price is the primary factor influencing their ability to switch. The growth of these markets, heralded by these own brand products, has resulted in growth rates for these products that exceed Quorn. Another threat to Quorn that they must be aware of is the development of sustainable farming. considering consumer opinion regarding the current state of meat-free alternatives and them being worse from perspective than the standard meat. The development of sustainable farming can cause issues. As farming becomes more sustainable, consumers will lose that driver of the environmental impact. And this environmental impact is actually the primary driver of consumers to change to a more purchasing ethical standard. So as sustainability of farming catches up, consumers may take a step back and reevaluate and actually switch back to a meat-based diet. So to assess their social media, Instagram. Currently Quorn has less than 100,000 followers on Instagram, 66,000 of which on the UK specific Instagram page. The average engagement rate of these profiles are 1.52%, and with 13 posts a month, that is less than 4,000 interactions a month on average. The type of content they share typically just includes recipes that they've developed themselves and they share with consumers, with the occasional promotional post given their new projects and products. Onto Facebook. Quorn has one primary Facebook page with just below 400,000 followers, posting content that is very similar to the Facebook, that being to the Instagram, that being typically recipes. Currently, there have been no posts since January that exceed 1,000 interactions, and within January, the interactions are inflated due to Veganuary and a boost of traffic. The general theme the brand is surveying is the quality of the content of their product and its interchangeability with meat. The brand does use this platform to communicate with consumers. However, it is very brief in the comments and there's not a lot of depth. Twitter. Across Twitter, Quorn has fewer than 35,000 followers, 28,000 of which on the UK page, once again sharing the same content as Facebook and Instagram. However, the brand adds more personality to this platform. The brand shares more content that doesn't make it onto the other platforms, including things like jokes. This informality has enabled them to open up a channel of communication that relieves a bit of pressure and helps to develop stronger relationships. So the issues with their current social media strategy. Currently, the content posted does not drive engagement from consumers, appearing to drive mainly towards the website. Without the push for engagement, the growth rates of these pages decline, visibility is reduced, and this can have an effect on the credibility of a brand. We can see low engagement rates across all of their social media platforms, most prevalently Facebook, with over 350,000 followers and fewer than 1,000 interactions on their 8 most recent posts. I also believe their current focus is suboptimal. Through the assessment of consumers, it is clear the primary drivers to alter your meat purchasing habits are the environmental and ethical implications. And I believe Quorn are not currently doing enough to push this to the consumers to highlight their differences. So what is the proposed strategy? And the initial change would be to recapture what Quorn did so well in their early social media days. That is the sharing of user content. 64% of users want brands to connect with them on social media, and by increasing the sharing of this content, the brand is able to cost effectively satisfy those consumer needs whilst also driving engagement for their posts and their pages. This will aid the brand in developing brand loyalty, but considering 57% of consumers say they will spend more on brands that they are connected with, it solves another issue. It will aid them in the removal of that undercutting brand of the supermarket's own brands by allowing them a little more freedom with price. Alongside this, Quorn should post more about the ethical and sustainable benefits of the brand, with 26% of consumers finding out about the ethical activities of a brand through social media. Quorn really should utilise this to push that message to their consumers. Another reason this is so important is that consumers value brands that are genuine, with over half of consumers saying that brands that just appear to be ethical with no real merit to it, they are less likely to shop with. So therefore I believe that this strategy, the implementation of more user-generated content, Stronger relationship development and a focus on ethics and sustainability will provide Quorn a better platform for their social media usage. Thank you for your time. Any questions?